Hello there everyone and welcome back to The Grind. Graphics have been a very important part of games since the creations of, well, games, I guess. But there are some games that put in extra details and attention towards graphics than the rest. Now, it usually depends on the type of genre of the game and the platform, but generally speaking, since the evolution of consoles, game developers have been trying their level hard to incorporate better graphics into their games. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon too so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Alrighty, let's get into it. Now, a problem that usually arises with the graphical aspect of games is that the betterment of graphics usually comes at the aspect of losing speed in the game. This is one of the reasons why gamers prefer not to play games that are very high in terms of graphics, as that slows the game proportionally. But even then, giving players a choice to choose between should be the proper way of going forward with this situation. Essentially, adjusting your graphics should be an option. Normally, when players feel they have to choose between either of the options, they make their decisions according to their own needs and requirements. For instance, there are many gamers who have a very high internet connectivity, thus their game doesn't lag when the graphics increase. And even that, gamers should be given the opportunity to increase their graphics or lower them whenever they feel necessary, or even based on their systems they're using. They could increase it when they are just strolling around, and they could decrease it whenever they are playing a furious game that is very demanding in terms of information. Coming to the main topic of discussion, Rust has never really cared about graphics ever before. Now, this doesn't mean that they purposely sought after bad graphics, but they did at least not put in most of the effort into making their game highly aesthetic. The focus was always instead on the fundamentals of the game and how the game works instead of how it looks. Their games are fun and all, there's no denying that, and the improvements that come in the forms of updates in the game are really cool as well, but graphics never really topped their list in the matters they had to take care of. That was until recently, when they decided to slowly move towards the better end and start putting more effort into this matter. Since Rust started putting in the efforts into their graphics, there are multiple reasons why one could say that Rust has been so visibly improving in this regard. Now, there could be a lot that could be talked about when it comes to the graphical and visual improvements, but I guess sticking to the ones which are seen by players on a common basis should be our priority goal over here. For example, when it comes to hitting or cutting down a tree, the newer version is far more realistic and subtle. It feels like you are actually thrashing a tree and not just pretending in a game, though it still has a long way to go. The synchronization of noises and sounds with the motion of the player is still a huge improvement. Apart from that, even stuff like the crafting menu has been updated in order to make the game look more appealing. Now, having a more dynamic and sophisticated crafting bar might not directly affect anyone's game, but it surely aids in playing a smoother game and one that feels a lot better. Another incredibly important improvement is something that is directly correlated to everyone's gaming experience, and that is bleeding and dying. Earlier, they were barely commendable reactions when you got shot or hurt, but now the situation is entirely different. You see a blurry screen with red blood on it, which also happens to be a common practice in combat games. The addition of sound effects is also another major upgrade in the newer generation version. And with that, doors are something that you don't get to see very often. Doors are present no matter where you go in the game, so when people at Rust improved the doors placed in the game, it was definitely a very major improvement for everyone. Now, the doors you get to see are made up of different components, unlike the simple and dull doors that used to exist in the old version of the game. Hitting using an axe that used to look like a cartoon scene now looks incredibly realistic as well. Again, there is a lot of room for improvement, but they are heading in the right direction, definitely. The animals we saw in the game have become much skinnier and they actually look real now, though this does not mean that animals can't be heavy, it just, you know, they looked unnaturally bulky, but now they look a lot more real. The mountains and trees and the general scenery now involve much more complexions and colors, which is another win for everyone who wanted a game with beta graphics. Why'd I change my accent there? I don't know. I just forgot how to talk. What happened to my voice there? Beta graphics? I don't know. But anyway, guys, that does bring us to the end of our video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't liked the video yet, it's never too late, so go give it a thumbs up, people. We'll see you soon in another video, but until then, take care and goodbye.